Welcome to the Carriker Chronicles, the People Show. Checking the post for Husker Nation, brought to you by XCancer. Check them out at xcancer.com. Today I'm joined by a former Lincoln North Star High School standout. He's a junior. He led the team with 108 tackles last season for the Huskers. He's 20th all-time in total tackles for Nebraska with 236 career total tackles. Mr. Luke Reimer, how you doing, my friend?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. All right, let's get to it. Who's the next head coach going to be?
Yeah, that's a great question. And once I find out, I'll let you guys know.
So here's my actual question. All right, so how are you guys handling the rumor mill? Because one day you hear it's going to be Mickey, and then it's going to be Urban, and then it's going to be Dion, and then it's going to be Matt Rule. How are you guys handling that in the locker room?
Honestly, it's like a non-factor. No one really cares what inside the stadium doors, inside the stadium. No one cares what anybody has to say outside of the stadium. So you guys can say whatever you want. Start every rumor. Just know the people inside the stadium don't really care what's going on, what's being said outside. Because we know it really doesn't matter. What matters is us showing up, doing our job every day, trying to figure out a way how to win some games.
That's the perfect philosophy. I like that. I remember sharing that with the former quarterback in D.C. He didn't listen, and it didn't end up so well. But anyways, I digress. All right, so a couple serious questions. No black shirts for the rest of this year. How did you guys feel about that when that was announced a few weeks ago? And, going forward in the future, if they say they don't want to bring the black shirts back or they do, how would you guys feel about that whole deal?
Yeah, like I said, it's a lot of that stuff is our control. What we can't control is our attitude and effort, and what we bring to the table. And whether I'm wearing a black shirt or not, it doesn't matter. There's a standard. There's a standard in the linebacker room. There's a standard on the defense. Yeah, it's cool to get honored with the black shirt when you're upholding to that standard, but just because you're not wearing a different color jersey for practice doesn't mean that that standard changes at all. You go to practice, go to work every day with the same mindset. So for me, it was cool. It's cool to get honored and have a cool legacy item like that. But at the end of the day, it like I said, it does matter. It's gray matter. The how I play every day doesn't matter if I'm wearing a black jersey or a red jersey or a white jersey.
Now, you're a local Nebraska guy, Nebraska kid. Does it mean the same as it once did? Because it used to be, a few years ago, however long ago, if you grew up in Nebraska and you were a boy that wanted to play high school or college football, Nebraska was the place to go 99% of the time. Okay, do you feel it means the same as it once did to local Nebraska kids to play for the Huskers?
See, I can't really speak on that because, like you said earlier, I was a Lincoln or a North Star graduate, but I wasn't a homegrown guy. I grew up in Kansas. I never watched the Cornhuskers when I was growing up, so I can't really speak on that that past history of being growing up in the state, seeing the stadium every Saturday. I just didn't grow. I just grew up in a different atmosphere down in Kansas, and I just never watched Nebraska, but knowing what I do know, and it is a special, it still is special. When you get your black shirt, it means some. Just speaking from experience from this year and last year, it still means something. It's still a cool part of Lincoln's or Nebraska's history. It's cool, but at the end of the day, it still doesn't matter. And if whoever our next coach is thinks doesn't want it, then that's what we're going to do with. But if he wants it, we're gonna keep it how it should be. The standard is high, and it is where it should be. So,
do you feel like people have over the past half decade or so maybe underestimated just how important in-state recruiting is? Because I've always said, if a local Nebraska kid comes, it's going to mean more to them. They're probably going to stick it out through tough times longer. They might work a little bit harder. That's always been my thought and my theory, and I feel like that's been overlooked for the past 4 or 5 years or so. But what's your take on in-state recruiting, and maybe it's been prioritized not enough, or maybe it's been prioritized appropriately? What do you think?
It's a big part of Nebraska. It's just there's a lot of talent in this state. But obviously you can't just field an all Nebraska team. Like, you're still going to have to go out and get guys from Texas. You still have to, get guys from California, like just random places like that. But yeah, the top guys in the state, like it, and they need to be a priority. Like, you don't want the best talent leaving the state, because if they they're good athletes, there's good talent in the state. So you want to put an emphasis on getting the best talent that this state has to offer. Keeping them home, because there is a sense of pride in that. You're staying home. It's your home state. You want to do everything you can to sacrifice for the state.
You've had a few injuries this year, missed a game here or there. How's it been dealing with those injuries as far as this season? And do you feel like the strength and conditioning staff does a good job preparing you guys for the season going into it, maintaining and staying healthy as much as possible during the season as well?
Oh yeah, no, it's a 12-game grind. Like, things happen. Like, I bruised a lung. Like, it was like, that's why I couldn't play. Like, it was just, it's weird injuries. Like, football happens. You're running full speed and hitting people. Things are gonna, go wrong a little. Like, things are gonna go wrong. You're gonna roll an ankle. You're gonna, get banged up a little bit. Like, it's just a fight to stay healthy. But I think our strength staff does a great job of getting us ready and getting us as healthy as they could possibly can up until game time. Then it's just you're gonna get some nicks and bruises playing football. Like, that's just the nature of the beast. There's no miracle workout program that you can do that will cure you of all injuries. It's just going to happen. You're going to get hit and get rolled up on. Some dumb's going to happen.
Talk to me about Barrett Ruud. Okay, that's a guy I played with, a guy his family is well respected. His brother Bo I played with as well. His dad obviously played really well for the Huskers, being that inside linebackers coach. Talk to me about what it's like to play for a guy like that as your coach.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. He's awesome. I mean, he made me who the player I am today. I came in here a walk on, didn't know a weak hook drop from a strong hook drop. Like, I've learned so much from him. He's a really good teacher. He's done it. He did it professionally for 10 years. Like, he's a really good coach. That's all I can say. He's really good. I love going to work with him every single day. So,
talk to me, because you just mentioned you were a walk-on, and I forget all the schools you had offers from, so maybe you can help me out with that. But I believe you had offers from South Dakota State and other schools that were kind of along those lines. So help me out with what made you choose to walk on at Nebraska versus take a scholarship from some schools like that.
Just the biggest opportunity I had, and I feel like I would have just been telling myself, what if I went to a smaller school and just kind of, did what they thought I was going to do and be a starter and be a really good player for them. But in the back of my mind, I would have always had what if I think I could have played at this big university with all this, with all these fans, with all this stuff that we're getting. Like, there was always just that what if, and like, no disrespect to those smaller schools, but you don't watch college football when you're a little kid and seeing game day, and you dream of playing on the biggest stage, and that was my dream. I wanted to play on the biggest stage, and I took the opportunity that I had as walking on at Nebraska instead of playing for very good colleges, but just at a smaller level.
Last question. Talk to me about Wisconsin and Iowa, kind of similar in what they do to some degrees. What has the defense done well recently they'll have to carry over into these last two games, and what are the biggest areas of improvement the defense will need to make versus Wisconsin and Iowa to finish the season?
I mean, it's Big Ten football. We've been having Big Ten football the past several weeks, played some really good backs, and we are going to continue to do so through Wisconsin and through Iowa. Big, strong, physical O-lines. We do a lot of different things in the emphasis, especially on Wisconsin. We haven't got to Iowa, obviously, but Wisconsin does a lot of different things. They have a lot of different personnel. They're pretty similar to Michigan in that, where they're running in and out of personnel groupings and a lot of different formations they present to us. So we just have to be clean with their eyes as linebackers and be strong, fit in the gaps, and be a just physical front seven unit.
All right, man. Thanks for joining me, and good luck the rest of the year.
Appreciate that.
Until next time, Husker Nation, go big red, and always remember,
throw the bones.
This show is brought to you by XCancer. Join the fight at XCancerStore.com and support your loved ones, your neighbors, and cancer fighters all over the world and help them gain access to revolutionary treatments. XCancerStore.com has a wide variety of t-shirts and merchandise supporting a wide variety of cancer battles so you can show off the colors that matter. Proceeds from each purchase not only help those at home, but also cancer fighters in Tanzania, Africa. Check them out at XCancerStore.com.